All right, guys, today we got a 2010 Dodge Challenger SRT8 with a 6.1 liter Hemi engine and a manual transmission. It sat for a month and didn't get started, and ever since then, he's got some electrical problems. Let's get into it. Going to give you the backstory, but first I'm going to give you the first paragraph of his note. I love this. Love getting notes like this of what's happened to the vehicle. But his first paragraph is, I am the original owner of this exceptionally designed second-gen cool muscle car with 32,500 miles bought off the showroom floor. Couldn't afford the Hemi in high school, so he bought a 74 Plymouth Cuda 340, which he still has. Love that. So this one was not driven for a month. Went to start it, only got accessory mode. Would not crank, nothing. Went through, he checked some fuses. He's an old school mechanic, he said. Checked some fuses and didn't find anything there. Checked some relays, and he replaced the clutch master cylinder that had the positioning switch, basically the clutch start switch, and now the engine starts and runs. He took it for a drive. He said he found everything worked except the blower does not work on any speed, and he's got an ABS light on, so he needs to get those looked at. He did do some preliminary testing on it, and he said that no power at the blower motor, no power at the connector for the resistor. Went to the fan switch, I guess. He got to the fan switch. He said there was no power there. And then, not knowing what to do next, he started checking the rear power distribution center and found fuse number 14, no power, which he says is the AC heater control cluster module. Okay, so if it's got no power at that fuse, we're gonna have to figure out why it doesn't have power at that fuse. So that's where we're at now. Love the notes, some good in-depth stuff there. Of course, we're gonna double check some stuff. Let's get it over in the bay.
You want to tell him about how he tried to take it to a Dodge dealership?
Yeah, he said he tried to take it to a Dodge dealership up where he lives. He's actually drove here from South Carolina, and which is what, Charleston is about 3 hours?
3.5, 4, yeah.
And so he drove here from there. He said he couldn't get the Dodge dealership to work on it because they said it's a 2010, it's 15 years old, they don't work on them. So, okay, we're gonna get it figured out for him, but let's get the preliminary on it. Let's get it in the bay. I'll get it scanned to see what the ABS codes are, and then we'll start looking at the AC system and see if we can't figure out where that loss of power is. Hopefully it'll be something simple. Got the vehicle scan done. Let's look at the report on that. I've also got the wiring diagram up here for the AC system. But first, this thing has a lot of codes in it. I kind of went a little quick there. You can see that we got, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, 16. Oh, okay. We won't sit there and count them. There's quite a few codes in this car. Let's look and see what we are looking at here. So we got body control module, 6 codes in that. Ignition run control, that's active. So again, we always want to look when you're looking at codes, look over here, right? Which one's active? That's active. These are all stored. So he might have gotten rid of those when he did the battery and stuff and got it running. Let's see here. Lost communication with the engine control module. Lost communication with occupant restraint. Lost communication with heating, air and ventilation control. So that one kind of throws me off a little bit because he says that it doesn't work, and that says stored. And then in the instrument cluster, we have an active code that says lost communication with the AC control. Just mainly looking at the... Okay, now in the heated seat model, we have an active code for the lost communication with the heating and air control. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we've got a lot of different... We got a ton of codes here. We've got the crew in the building. All right. So I don't want to clear anything out yet. Let's go and let's take a look at the wiring diagram for the AC system. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even try the thing. I need to go in there and double check it to make sure. Let's do that first because, man, I'm going...
Just taking his word for it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay. Does not work. All right. We can leave the key on. We need to make sure those headlights are good. Let's take a look at the wiring diagram. I've got it pulled up, did a little quick look at it. And if we come over and we look at the power going in, so that's our AC control head. I was going to say AC control module, but that's the front heater AC module. And if we follow that power, so we just click on that. I never get this to work right half the time. Click on that and come over, follow it up. And he said fuse 14 in the rear power distribution box did not have any power to it. So there's our fuse 14. So now our problem that we got to find is, where is this coming from? All right, so if we come over and we go into the power, so what I've got here is I've got our power distribution, complete power distribution wiring diagram. I found fuse 14 right here. We're going to go back and we're going to double check that fuse because, again, we're taking his word for it. So far, his word's been good. We follow that back. It comes back up into this diode PDC. I did look that up to see what that is, but before now we come back up into this, it goes into this bus bar, right? So into this piece. But if we look at this, I want to know, does anything come out of that before we go down a rabbit hole? So I came over and looked, and now we've also got this fuse and this fuse. So we're going to check those two fuses to see if they have any power on them, because if they have power on them, then we know that this component is okay. We've got something happening between these 2 points. But I didn't know what the diode PDC was, so I went in and looked at that. And it is the ignition off draw power distribution circuit center something, right? And it's got a 60 amp fuse that it's powered. So we're going to go check that also. All that's going to be in this rear box. Let's go back there. Let's get, I need to get some stuff to check power with. I'm going to bring a couple things here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Get a little load. All right. And let's go see what we got. Obviously, maintainer on the battery. We've got the key on, so we want to be sure and see. This is, again, I show this a lot. 8.6 amps is what this car's pulling right now, right? 8.6 amps. This is why you need to have, this is just the key on, no headlights on, no nothing. Thing's pulling almost 9 amps. That does not take long to kill a battery like that. That's why when you're testing cars, you're running diagnostics on stuff, doing some inspections, doing some testing, and then all of a sudden the battery's dead. That's why. It does not take long. All right, let's get down into this box. Have anything on this box? Yeah, we do have a little. All right, let's see if we can't get some light. All right, this is going to be 60 amp fuse. I think is going to be our one. It just seems that's the position that it's in, because I remember seeing that piece. So that's the position it's in. So that's our 60 amp fuse. We're going to need to find our other 2 fuses that we were looking at. Let me go do that real quick. So we're looking at 14, 44, and 36. So 14, okay, it's right there. There's 14. So we're going to try to make sure this, okay, so that is the orientation of it. So 14 is here. Let's double check that one first. He said there's no power there. There's power on both sides of that one. All right, those are bigger fuses, pain in the butt to check. 36 though is this fuse here. And yeah, we're okay there too. So flush, come on, here we go. All right, so we're okay there. All right, we've got power. Again, that's why you double check. Trust but verify. Let's now, since we don't have blower, I'm gonna back out of that. Now we have power to that. I went straight to the power to that control module. Didn't go any further on to, looking at anything else. Now I need to look and see what else, where those circuits are for the control, because that's going to be probably inside the vehicle. Be amazed if it's not. All right, let me do a quick look at this now. So what I want to do now, how I'm going to do this, I'm going to come over to the blower motor. We are power distribution center, right rear of the trunk, fuse 42, 30 amp. It goes straight to the blower motor. Fuse 42, 30 amp. Let me show you real quick here. Right here. And it goes straight down to the blower motor. We're at that fuse box already. Let's check that fuse 42, 30 amp. That's the next easiest thing to do, and I've already put away my stuff, so that was not too smart. Fuse 42. This is the fuse right here. It does not look blown to me. I don't like these fuses, though. They're a pain to check unless you can see real good and you can see that they're blown. I've had them in the past where they've been blown and they don't look blown, but that one looks okay. I'll tell you what, because I'm going to have to disassemble, pull that up and pop that cover off that fuse, I don't want to damage that. It's going to be just as easy to just go to the blower motor. We're probably going to end up there anyway and check that fuse, or check the power going to the blower motor. Here's our connector for our blower. The blue wire is the back side. So I'm going to put this in, see if we've got power here. And we'd have no power there. Okay. Let's check this other one just to be sure. Yep. We're going back here. Sometimes you try to take the easy route and it just doesn't work for you. All right, this is where I would love to have one of those Vim tools that has the little grabber on it. This is where you're going to make life very, very easy. But I don't have that yet. Okay. Let's see if we've got power on one side of this at least. Yeah, we got no power going to this fuse. Okay. Let's put that back in for now. Let's go check and see where that power comes from, because that's something I have not looked at all. No idea where that. We're getting there though. Fuse 42, right rear of the trunk. All right, now let's go to our power distribution again. All right, now I gotta find that fuse. Fuse 40, there it is right there. Okay, oh, comes from a relay. Oh, sorry guys, just not as easy as you think sometimes to maneuver this. All right, there's our 42. There's our 42. All right, fuse 41, 10 amp. That's got coming from the same relay. Where does it go to? Occupant restraint controller module and the AC heater control, so it also feeds power to that. And we did have a problem with the occupant. We had a code in there for that, for something. All right, let's go. That's relay is in the same power distribution center. Let's go ahead and look, see where that relay is. I know I'm gonna pop back and forth just a little bit here. Run relay. All right. Is this just fuses, or is it showing me all of it? Run relay. Oh my gosh. Okay, run relay. right there. 21. 21. Okay. Let's go check that. We do have the double check power to this bad boy. Make sure we've got, I had the key on, make sure it didn't power itself off, because they are known to do that. All right, it was on, technically, there were some lights on, but let's just I want to double check that fuse again. I don't want to be going down some crazy rabbit hole, that's for sure. Nothing. All right. So this is the relay. Oops. This is our relay right here. So let's go ahead and pull that out, and we're gonna put a adapter on this, basically, so we can test and see everything that's going into it and out of it. So let me get that adapter. This little kit is absolutely fantastic. It's a little, basically an adapter kit for your relays. You plug your relays into it and it gives you little terminals that you can test on. I've got the one in for the car for this relay. We had a little bit of an interruption, so let's go ahead and check it here. We got, and they're numbered down here, and I gotta look at the numbers again because now we have the interruption. I forget what they are. Can you move that? Okay, I got it right here. Okay, what we got? 86, 30, 87, 85 was the last one. 86, 30. 87. All right, so 86 has power, and 85 has power. And I could hear it when I plugged it in, it did not click. Okay. All right, so 30 is our power coming in. This should be power going out. 87A is not used on this one. That's the middle prong. That's this one. So this is a relay that, if you look in here, see there's no middle, there's no terminal in that. Okay. There's a terminal here and there. And so you see the bottom of this one. This, we have that on this relay. So it does have an 87A, but that is not used on this car because it doesn't have a terminal there. 87A is going to have power through the relay when the relay is off. The 87 is going to have power through the relay when the relay is on. So if we plug it in again, and we should hear a click if it's working. There's no click. And so we should have power coming in, power going out, which we don't. We should have power and then ground, which we don't. We have power on both sides of the control circuit. I'm going to take you back over and we're going to look at that so that everybody understands what I'm looking at there. Not difficult here, pretty straightforward. Just blow this relay up. We've got our control side over here, our load side over there. So we have power coming into this 30, we saw that. We have power on this one. Unfortunately, we have power on that one. Well, why do we have power here? The reason we have power there is because this is bringing power in, it's going through the coils, and it's just continuing on because there's no ground on the other side. This side should be grounded, right? Once we take that to ground, that relay will activate. So let's look and see how that is controlled. We come out, we go down, we come here. Hang on, I gotta blow this. I gotta take this out down here. Turn my marker tool off. Come on. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. So now let's look at it. Power coming in, we're good. Power coming in, we're good. We don't care about this side yet. This is the one we're working on. We come down here, not used. We come over. We've got some kind of loop thing here, no clue. Come over. Heated seat relay. So that must go to that relay somehow. Maybe that controls that relay or something. Also, come over here and we've got a diode. All right, so we don't see anything on this diagram that shows us what turns that relay on and off. So while we were interrupted, I pulled up the next part of that, and I wanted to see where the control was. Let me see if I can. So I pulled up this, and this is basically the schematic of the run relay. And we see the same thing again. We've got our powers coming in to the top. We have our power going out here. This is going to be the one going to our blower motor right there, right? I didn't mean to put that line on it. That line is not. I don't want you to get confused there. This is going to be our power going to our blower motor. It's going to go that way, right? This is the circuit we're concerned about. So we come out. Here's that diode that we just looked at. And then we come out, we come down, and we go to the tip-em. All right, so maybe something's wrong with the tip-em, but I want to look at that diode because, you know, he's been in here checking fuses and stuff and moving things around. Let's just make sure that diode is good. We should see that diode on the... That diode is going to be in that rear fuse box. So now let's go back to that. Diode 2, diode 1, diode Zener. Okay, so we've got several right here. Let's go back over to that other one. I'm going to look and see what number that was. It just says diode there. It just says diode there. That was the tip-em, didn't show me anything. Okay, well, let's see what these are. Diode 2, diode 1, diode 0, diode 31, 32, 33, 31, 32, 33. Okay, well look, here we go. Here we go. We got our 33 is here. 31 is there, and 32 is there. And you can see it shows a little diode symbol here and here. Okay. All right, so let's go take a look. That's going to be in the bottom corner of that box underneath that where the power wire comes in. Here's our power wire here. So there's a diode, and this is the diode. The other one, I don't see anything in that one. There's two terminals in there. So could we potentially be missing one? I don't know. All right, first thing I want to do is just check to see. Let me get my meter out. Hang on 1 second. So on your meter, you're going to have this little, looks like it's a diode symbol, right? So we're going to pull this out. This diode should work. It didn't feel very tight. It didn't feel very tight at all. It felt much tighter when I pushed it back in. All right, hang on. So we should get a reading one way. Okay, and then not the other way. All right, so this one's good. Assuming that the number's good, but at least it'll pass. Let me check that one more time here. Okay. All right, so that one's test good. Make sure it's back in there tight. Okay, and then this one, that didn't even feel like it was touching anything. That's like just, hang on a second. That literally felt like it was touching nothing. All right, guys, I want you to see what I just did here. I just went right here to this diode, and I just pulled it out. Is there any? I think it's in the wrong. There's no terminals in there. Hang on. Yeah, it was in here. Can you blow that up, Sherwood, and see? Can you see that? There's no terminals in that, the one it was in. You see it? Hard to see?
I think they might be. I don't know.
My finger's on the one that it was in. But there's no terminals in it, guys. So that's on the... When we're looking at it on the... that was 32. And then 31... It was going to have one in it also. I don't know which way I'm going to put this in. Let's test the diode first. I'm thinking it maybe was in the... I mean, clearly there was nothing in that spot, so... Alright, it's not good that way. Okay, so we're okay there. It shows it like this. We'll try it. I don't know. Now let's see. Can't be this that easy. No, we still got power there. We still.
Let's see.
Okay, we still don't have control here. All I did was put that back in. I put it in the right spot. Let's flip it over and just see. Still nothing. That's me doing that. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to put it back in the other way. I mean, clearly this is a problem. This was in the wrong spot. There's nothing in this down here where it was. So let me just make sure the key is still where we need it to be. Nope. Okay.
Key went off.
Yeah. Guys, when you're doing this stuff and you're taking a while to do this stuff, make sure you recheck that key. Because those things want to cycle off all the time. All right, so now, there we go. We're looking for power here. Bam! That's fixed, guys. That's fixed. That is 100% fixed. This diode, I wonder if this guy's testing us. This diode was here. I mean, there's nothing else wrong with it. No whether the fuses were bad or anything. He said he didn't have power on that one fuse. But this diode was in the wrong spot. I mean, it didn't just jump over there.
He was at the door watching us, so maybe he's pranking us.
I'm wondering if he's testing us right now.
They probably saw him in the background. He was watching us.
Let's see if the blower works. Blower works so I can hear it working. It would be different if there was a blown fuse or a bad relay and that diode in the wrong spot. Then I could see, well, maybe he was moving things around and he put a fuse in it, but I feel like we're being tested here. Okay. Hey, it's fixed, right? And I mean, I like an easy fix. I just like things to make sense. And this doesn't make sense. We're going to go talk to him. I'm going to bring him in here. You're okay being on camera?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, you're okay. We'll publish. This will be put on the internet. You're okay with that? Obviously, if you're on camera, we're putting it on the internet.
I'm all right with it.
Okay, cool. All right, it's fixed. But we want to know something.
Yes.
Are you testing me?
Am I testing you?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
You know how what was it back in the day? What was that little?
No, I wouldn't drive 3 hours to do that. Not at all. No way. But I do tell you something.
Go ahead.
I took all the fuses out and checked the fuses.
Okay.
I checked them with continuity. That's the best that I could do.
Yeah.
I checked all the relays too with a 12-volt battery just to hear them click.
Okay.
That's one of the things I did after I couldn't find anything. But no, I'm not doing anything like that.
Okay.
Not at all.
So, did you replace any fuses? Were all of them good, or was something blown?
None of them were blown.
None of them were blown.
None of them were blown, no. Everything in there is original. The only thing that I did change, I took one out. I took that one out and got a new one.
Okay, the 60 amp right there,
Yes,
you got a new one.
and I put the original one back in because it didn't do anything.
Okay.
Because I thought that one was kind of reading funny.
Okay.
And that's all I did.
I mean, that's part of the circuit we're working on.
Yes, because this...
Yeah. This feeds in. This one is part of it.
Okay.
But what we ended up finding was this diode was over here, and that's not a place. It's just there's nothing there, and it was just sitting in there, so it wasn't touching. It wasn't making. Obviously, it wasn't the circuit that it's supposed to be in. Now I've got it stuck in there. Hang on. There's no terminals there, right?
I probably had that out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably had that out, but there's no way I could check it.
Yeah.
I could check it.
Yeah, you'd have to have
But it still would have been an issue for you. You would have pulled it out trying to fix the issue.
Well,
so
here's my thing. Was the only confusing part was if you said, hey, yeah, sure, this fuse was blown, right? That fuse was blown. That fuse was blown. I put a fuse in it. I checked all the fuses, put a fuse in it, but it still didn't fix it. Then I could say, well, okay, the fuse was blown originally, but then, the diode got put back in the wrong cavity. That makes sense. But you didn't replace anything. So the only other thing that makes sense is how long after. So you had the battery issue, or you had did you have a battery issue?
Originally, no, never had battery.
Okay,
originally I didn't drive
it was the
car.
clutch switch.
Well, what happened? Yeah, it wouldn't start. It would just go into run accessory, and that's all it would go in. And I said, okay, old school. There's got to be a switch down here for the clutch.
Yeah.
So I replaced the clutch master cylinder.
Okay.
Comes with position switch.
Yeah.
I replaced them. Car started. I said, okay, I got everything.
So you
fixed.
didn't have to do anything with the battery?
No.
Because there's low voltage codes, or there are voltage codes in this car. I don't know. Maybe something, something in the controller, maybe in the TIPM or something, because the TIPM was what controls this relay. Maybe something just got, a little wigged out in that thing for some reason, and it just wasn't working, and then you went in there and did all your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying I did an old man brain fart? You can tell me whatever you want. I won't be mad.
The diode
We still can't put the pieces of the puzzle fully together.
Yeah, I like to be able to put puzzle pieces together. I like things to make sense. But yeah, I think that more than likely you pulled that diode out and probably put it back in the cavity over from it.
That could have been me, yes.
Yeah. So
honestly, that could have been me.
But the good thing is it's fixed, right? I mean, it took me a little bit to get to that, obviously, just going through the steps and going to the wiring, but it's fixed. Now we've got to figure out the. It may have fixed our ABS too. I don't know. I haven't looked to see what all that goes to. It definitely goes to the occupancy controller. Let's see here.
You gotta be kidding me.
Matter of fact, I don't see anything. Oh, the ABS module's not even communicating. Hang on, let's.
Yeah, because after I got the clutch switch put back in and everything, I went for a road test, drove it around, and that's when I found out I couldn't put the air conditioner on. No fan switch. But the compressor works and everything like that, but the fan switch wouldn't go on.
Yeah.
That's when all this came about.
Okay.
And I also noticed that I had the dash light on for the ABS.
Yeah, because is the key on right now, Sherwood? Is it still on? Making sure?
No.
Switch that key on real quick. Bam! We're in the ABS module now too. So let's see if it's got a code in it. Steering angle sensor not initialized. That's easy.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an easy fix. Yeah, we'll just do that. So we just got to basically do a calibration on the. Let's see if it's in here. This might be just one where you drive it down the road. Might have to do
What,
it
for
inside
steering?
here. Yeah, for the analog brake system. We can get that figured out. That's no big deal. That's going to be fixed.
And now instead of 2 diagnostic fees, it's just going to be
the one.
level 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get got the blower fixed. We're going to have the ABS fixed, and then I'm going to take it over there.
The blower was the fuse?
The blower was the diode.
The diode was that?
Yeah, it's on. It's blowing right now.
Feel it.
You can hear it.
Oh, I can. Okay. Yeah, I can hear it.
I got to put this cover back under here. We'll get it back over there, and they will do the services that you want on it.
Yeah,
Get that
oil
taken care of.
change, manual transmission. It's time. It's got over 30,000 on it now.
Yep.
Manual transmission and
Rear diff.
No, I didn't say that, but you can look. You can look. I didn't ask them to do that, but you could look at that.
Okay. I mean, the recommendation if it's got 30.
Engine coolant.
Okay.
Engine coolant.
It
was done once.
The coolant was done once?
Long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was done one time only.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it and saying, man, it's not in good shape.
Has the brake fluid been flushed?
No.
Okay, you 100% want to do that. 100% want to do that.
That's never been done.
That's probably on this car with a manual transmission, that's probably one of the most critical ones because it's never been done. It's 15 years old. And it's a hydroscopic fluid, so it's pulling moisture to it all the time.
Well, then we need to do that too.
So we'll do that. The transmission, the coolant, the diff is very inexpensive. If you want, I would do the diff, especially. I have a story about Chrysler and their
the additive they put in.
Well, no. So I can't remember the exact years, but it was back in this time frame. People in this business, technicians, who I respect, who I respect their opinion, right? They will tell you, oh, you don't need to do, if the manufacturer doesn't say to do it, don't do it. So as an example, BMW will tell you never change the transmission fluid. It's a lifetime fluid. They had stickers on the transmission pan, lifetime fluid, do not change. And then I would always question, well, what is lifetime? Well, it's going to be the lifetime of the transmission, right? It's literally what
that's what they're saying, isn't it?
So how long is that?
How long is
right?
that?
So if it's 125,000 miles, 150,000 miles, that's not lifetime to me because we've got cars that can go 300,000 and 400,000 miles without problems, right? If you service it properly. Well, my one of the things that I've always talked about, and I need to go back and do some research on this and find the hard numbers on this. Chrysler they did a lifetime powertrain warranty for a while, right? On their trucks, I think it was. And it was about in this time frame, 2010-ish, in that area. The year before they went to the lifetime powertrain warranty, nothing about the rear differential was in the owner's manual for the maintenance schedule. Didn't tell you to change it ever, right? So it just says inspect it, inspect it,
I
inspect
don't
it.
believe it's in mine either.
Yeah. If you go to the next year when they went to a lifetime powertrain warranty, they required you to change that fluid every 15,000 miles. So now, what I looked at it when I told people was, okay, nothing changed about that differential between those 2 years, right? Except that on this year, Chrysler was on the hook for the warranty. And on this year, once it got past 30,000, they're out, 36,000, whatever it was, they're out, right? So does it need to be changed? Yeah, it needs to be changed in this year and in this year, because they wouldn't tell you to change it every 15,000 miles if they didn't know that that's going to make it live forever, pretty much, so they don't have to warranty it, right? Now, I would tell you do it every 30,000 miles. That's what we tell people. Just do any fluid in the vehicle, just do it every 30,000 miles. All right, guys, so that's it on this one. It was a pretty simple fix. Took a little bit to get to it, but straightforward fix. We love it. Appreciate you coming all the way down here from Charleston, right?
Correct.
That's a bit of a drive. How long did it take you to get down there? 3 hours?
No, almost 3.
3 hours,
Almost
yeah.
3.
Yeah,
It's a good ride.
We appreciate that. We're going to get some other service work done on it, but you guys know what to do. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell notification, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You need to hit that subscribe button, then the bell notification, by the way. Then leave that comment down below. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.